Okay, this question is about fuel cells. As you can see from the equations there, you've got four half equations. Two of them will be relating to the acidic fuel cell, and two of them will relate to the alkaline fuel cell. So what this question is asking to do says, using the information, show how acidic and alkaline hydrogen fuel cells produce the same overall charge, same overall cell equation, cell potential, despite different reactions taking place at each electrode. 4 marks for this. So first of all, you've got to select the two equations that relate to your acid fuel cell and two that relate to your alkaline fuel cell. And that is straightforward enough. If you can see hydroxide ions present, then that refers obviously to your alkaline fuel cell. Hydroxides make things alkaline. And then the ones that don't contain hydroxides, which will be the second equation and the last equation, you can see you've got your hydrogen ions present. They will be for your acid fuel cell. Okay, so we start with that one. We'll start with the acid fuel cell. So you can see we've got equation 2 here. 2H plus 2E minus gives hydrogen gas. And equation 4, O2 plus 4H plus 4E minus gives 2 waters. So we've been asked to show the same overall cell equation and cell potential is forming despite the different reactions. So let's bring those two equations down. We'll put the more positive one on top. So we've got O2 plus 4H plus 4E minus produces 2H2O, and that's plus 1.23 volts for that half cell. And the hydrogen half cell, 2H plus 2E minus gives H2. Obviously that is 0, that's our standard hydrogen half cell. So let's start with showing the cell equation. So I've got to multiply the second equation by 2 because I've got twice as many electrons in the first half cell than I have in the second. So times that by 2 to make your electrons equal, and then start to combine what's going on. So the oxygen half cell here, you can see, is more positive, so this one's going to reduce, and therefore the hydrogen will oxidize to hydrogen ions. So the overall reaction here is going to be O2 plus 4H plus. The electrons will cancel, plus 2H2, because I'll multiply this equation by 2, will produce 4H plus 2H2O. Okay, now we can cancel this down. We've got H pluses on both sides of the equations, so they will cancel out, leaving us with O2 plus 2H2, giving us 2H2O. So this is our acid fuel cell. And from the cell potentials, you can see here that your cell potential is your positive electrode, take away your negative electrode. So here we've got 1.23 minus 0.00, which therefore makes 1.23 volts as our cell potential for the acid fuel cell. Now we do the same again for the alkaline fuel cell, which are the two hydroxide equations. So let's do the same thing again, put the more positive one on top. So I've got equation 1 and equation 3. Equation 3 is more positive, so let's put that on top. O2 plus 2H2O plus 4E minus will produce 4OH minus. And then the more negative one below it, 2H2O plus 2E minus gives 2OH minus plus H2. Right, we've got plus 0.4 on the first equation and minus 0.83 on the second equation. Combine the two, so I'll again need to multiply the second equation by 2 to equalise the electrons. And as this one's more positive, the oxygen is going to oxidize to the hydroxides, and the hydrogen and the hydroxide will reduce to water. Sorry, I got that backwards. The oxygen will reduce to the hydroxides, and these two here will oxidize to the water. So combine the equation. We've got, just broke the pencil, O2 plus 2H2O. The electrons will cancel, plus 4OH, because we multiply the equation by 2, plus 2H2 will produce 4OH minus plus 4H2O. 2 times 2 is 4. Again, cancel down what appears on both sides. So the OHs will cancel because there's 4 OH minus ions on each side of the equations. And here you can see I've got 2 waters on the left and 4 on the right. So they will cancel as well. So that will go and that will drop down to 2. So you can see now what I've got is O2 plus 2H2 gives me 2H2O. Exactly the same overall equation as the acid fuel cell. question is asking you to show that the two fuel cells produce the same overall equation. So the whole working out is clearly showing that. All right. So you haven't got to explain anything. It's saying show. The equations themselves are explaining it. So we've got the same equation on both cells. Now we've got to show that both the acid and alkaline fuel cell will produce a voltage of the same. So we take the electropotentials here. We've got, let's label this as the alkaline fuel cell. We've got 0.4 minus 0.83, and that equals, again, 1.23 volts. There's your question answered.